So oftentimes when I have a sketchbook, I always like to decorate the cover, as you might be able to tell. Today I'm going to be painting on it. And you might be thinking, Oliver, you idiot, how are you going to paint on it when it's covered in stickers? Well, ow. There's a second cover. A second cover. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. If you are a recurring viewer on this channel, you know that I love to paint on the cover of my sketchbooks. Since this has two covers, I decided to cover this one in stickers and finally put them to use. And then I could draw on this one. All normal, like how I often normally do in the normal world. Also, don't be fooled, it looks like I've made a lot of progress in this sketchbook. I haven't. There's a lot of pages I need to go back and finish, so don't ask me for a sketchbook tour, I'm not ready yet. So I have a vague plan for what I want to do. For starters, I wanted to draw my character Rhea. I thought that because of how I decorated this side, her color scheme would go generally fine with that. And another thing, I wanted to use these. I made a video about them recently, trying them out, giving them the works. Originally, since this is more of like a papery cover, like a cardboardy cover, I was going to use my markers for that, but I wanted to try out those paints a little bit more, and also since I put this paint here, I figured, you know, it'll go nice together. Plus, I normally use paints on my sketchbook covers anyway, so that's all we're doing. Crack this baby open. Ignore the marker bleed through. Let's sketch out some ideas. I don't have any, like, refined plans for this. I just have a character and a medium in mind. I don't have anything else, so. Also, for anyone wondering, before I get any questions about it, this is the type of sketchbook it is. Delusions Creative Journal Ranger. This right here, this like, I think it's bookbinding tape, I don't actually know, is providing the biggest issue, because not only does it make my thing smaller to work with, my surface area smaller to work with, it's also red. I might paint over it, I don't know. I don't know if that would mess up like how it opens, but I mean, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. If anything, I could probably find washi tape that maybe like this one that I used and like put it over there so it fits the color scheme nicely. Because of the dimensions of the page, I think it would be best to stick with like a bust shot. Sometimes for sketchbooks, what I really like to do is I like to make a character like in kind of a sitting pose, so it's a full body, but it's like still there, or like a kneeling pose or something. But this one it's a little bit smaller. But then for me, the issue is like, if it is just a simple bust shot, I don't know how to make it visually interesting enough. So we'll figure out what happens. If it's a, here she's looking more straight on. What if we did kind of like a side profile thing? I don't like the idea of her just standing there though. I want there to be some kind of movement. It's a really weird body pose. It could work, but I don't think it would work for Rhea. Let's try straying away from the side profile. I know these scribbles aren't anything interesting right now. I'm just trying to come up with a general I don't know, I mean, I guess composition, because she's the only thing there, but a general flow of everything, and like just a layout, and then I'm going to refine the pose a little bit more once I have a more clear-cut idea of what I'm actually going to be doing. I really like this sort of angle, and like how she's standing up straight. I think it definitely shows her more like confident and kind of cool and collected attitude. There we go. I know how to words correctly, but I don't really know what to do with arms. Shoot. Fucking shit, man. I don't know, hand on hip. Typical artist pose, am I right? Idea. Let me cover up some of this. I'm just gonna try and copy this as much as I can, because I really like that angle. So I was thinking of having her other hand like up here, kind of like she's like looking for something? I don't know. And her other hand, holy fuck, I cannot talk today. She do be looking for something. Or someone. What? Who's she looking for? What? We'll just pretend that other arm isn't there. As cool as it would be, Rhea does not have 3 arms. Now that I'm starting to sketch this out, I might want to play around with some different angles. I do really like this general posing. I think the actual pose itself could benefit from having the angle played with a little bit more. Maybe figure out a better way to put that hand. The one that's on her hip, I don't think it's there. Well, that's about all I can say about it. We'll scooch this one over here. I ripped that. It's okay. We don't need the whole post-it note. Here, what I really liked about the angle is like the kind of... It was going up. Like that. In case you didn't know what direction up was. So I think if I play with that a little bit more and maybe push that farther, could be something interesting. Can't get the angle of that arm right. Let's see if her hand is here. Don't like it. So that's the thing. I really liked that sort of angle on the face they just had, but then I couldn't get the arm right. Art is hard. What if I put her hand on her chin instead and she's thinking real hard about something? Well, here's the thing with this. I wanted there to be movement to it, and I don't know if there's a lot of movement. Got an idea, and I don't really know if I know how to explain it properly, so I'll just put pen to paper and let that do the talking. There's a bunch of random scribbles for you. What do you think? Does it look good? Let me actually switch over to a different pen real quick. I don't know why I didn't take these out from the beginning, since these are the pens I've actually been sketching with off camera. She's supposed to be looking at you, not that you could really tell from that, because I kind of fucked up the face, but it's fine. This is just a thumbnail. I don't know if I really like this hand, but I do really like bringing the legs into the picture. Quite literally. One more thumbnail, and then I think I'll be ready to move on. I really like the way that the fluff on her jacket kind of like covers a part of her face. And if we bring the hand back up here, but she's kind of like, she has these pieces framing her face. What if she's like pushing them out? Thank you for this lovely background noise, Ella. I really, really appreciate it, truly. I think I could move on. Although since this is a post-it note, I could just yoink it out of there. Bring out my magic pencils. Eraser. Eraser. Alright, let me just... Those can sit there. And then her thighs are a little thicker because she's a swimmer. Thank you to all the swimmers in my comment section bringing that to my attention. Remember when I said I had it all figured out and then I had a plan or whatever it is that I said? Wait, her body's facing that way. What if I turned her head the opposite way? Haha, visual interest. Well, now it kind of looks like this is the arm that's going up, so... Whenever I do paint on the cover of my sketchbook, which is most of the time, I always like to write the sketchbook number on the cover. And I do make a welcoming page that also has the sketchbook number on it, but I mean, might be redundant, but it's okay. It's what I like to do. So I have an idea for what I want to do with that. Normally I write sketchbook, but due to the limitations of the space, I'll just write SB. Everyone knows what that will mean, right? Superb butts. Super boner. Sup, bitch? Okay, I need to stop. And then I was going to have like a whooshy shape. And that's what she's looking at. She's looking at the whoosh. I don't think the angle of that hand is right. Let me try again. I don't think this entire arm is right. Yeah, I should probably draw where her face would be so I know where it is. Is that right? I'm gonna say it is and move on for the time being. Okay, time for this hand. I'll doodle on this. I think, I don't know. Remember when I said I was gonna practice hands and then I never did? I think that works. I don't know. She's gonna be brushing it out of her face, right? Instead of having her hand right up against her head, what if I pulled it away just a little bit? I mean, something like that, right? And her sleeve. I keep drawing it as if it were from an above angle, but it's not from an above angle. It's from a below angle. I think also because of the angle, you'd see more of the elbow and the forearm? Bicep. This is the forearm. You'd see more of under here than you normally would. Detail time? I believe so. After much suffering, I think we're finally ready for the details. Whenever Rhea comes up, people comment saying that her hair looks like another character's hair, but I don't remember who that character is because I didn't watch the show. I think it was Owl House. I don't know that show. It's so funny because I don't mind when my characters get compared to other characters because it just happens every single time I get those comparisons. Your character looks like X character. I never know who the character is and I have to look it up. It's frustrating when people leave a really vague comment. They give a character's nickname, but never from any they don't say the show or the game or whatever, and I'm left to wonder who the fuck they're talking about. So yes, if you're going to compare my characters to another character, be specific about it so I could look up who you're talking about. I think that's about all of the defining that needed to be done. I just needed to clear up the hand and the face, but I guess I could define the outfit a little bit more. I know we've had this discussion before. The knees are weird, man. They're so weird looking. Who decided that knees? You know? Who decided that knees? You know, can't say I'm happy with this hand still. I think that's better. Take a picture of this in case I need to reference it later. Line this up. Got this palette here. Remember when I last used these paints and I said I had my palette and it was being used for another painting? Yeah, it was. I didn't work on that at all, so the paint is still there, so I gotta use the little one again. My instinct is to always start with the skin, because then if I'm painting on the skin and then it like goes into the hair a little bit, it won't matter because I'm putting the hair on top. But the problem with that is I don't know if the skin is gonna be dry enough for me to put the hair on later. I don't know how long I'd have to wait, but I mean, I guess fuck it, because who cares, right? It's just a drawing. If it turns out bad, it's not the end of the world. Let's start with this burnt sienna. I'll put in a little bit of this, and then, wait, I have a palette knife, but I don't know how a palette knife is gonna work in here. We'll just do this. It's fine. She's definitely paler than that, so I need more white. Oh, that was a lot of white. I don't know, I'll mix this white in, and then I'll see what needs to be added from, oh my god, that was a lot. Honestly, I think that's an okay place to start. Going to add a little bit of burnt sienna. We'll take some of this just to add a little bit of depth to the skin while I can still kind of see. Pretend she has eyes. Pretend I made those. Totally messed that up. But it's fine. See, this is why we do the skin first. That looks like a knee, right? I guess next I'll do the green of her coat, because that's the one thing that's not touching anything else. Put in some red to desaturate it, but I'm scared, so we're just gonna do a tiny bit over here. Totally just didn't break my palette knife, what do you mean? Okay, interesting. My consensus is fuck it, put paint on the thing and see what happens. So that's what we're gonna do. This is always one of the most stressful phases of painting. Every painting has to go through the ugly phase. I've accepted that, but it's still stressful. Now to add the shading, I mean, my instinct for shading is always to add purple, so I don't want to add too much shading at the moment. I just want to use up these paints, really. Okay, well that didn't work as a shading as I thought. Oh my god. I'm a mess. This isn't normally the part of painting where I add in details, but like, what's a man to do when he puts too much paint on his palette? Alright, let me add some of this to here to make more of a highlight color. And now we go back, blend these out. I think I might have gone a bit extreme with the highlights, but it'll be okay. Okay, now what do we do? I mean, I guess next, I'm down to add her bodysuit, which is black, but I'm always terrified to use black, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix a bunch of colors together to get something that's really dark and muddy, but not quite black. So we'll start with this brown and this purple and see where that takes us. Let's add this like greeny bluey color. Okay, now let's add a red. Oh god! And then fling paint everywhere. That's a part of my plan. That works. If I am going to use any black in here, it's going to be to shade the bodysuit. But I super don't want to use it for just the bodysuit itself. With painting, I never know how much to blend it out and how much to, like, just leave it at brush strokes. Because I think my instinct is to blend things out a lot, but sometimes that's not what you want from painting. I guess that's why I don't paint super often. I guess I'm just a little afraid of overworking it sometimes. What happens if I were to add this to this? The palette knife doesn't work. I keep trying and it just does not work. I think I need to mix another color so I could blend out the shading color. So how did I do that? I think it was this red. I really want to work on that arm, but I can't. I should wait for it to dry, because that'll just make it worse. I definitely need to add a bit more contrast. Should I just add some black? I'm very terrified to add black. I can't seem to think of anything else that could give me the contrast I need. I didn't even consider how I'm gonna line this. It's alright, I'll figure something out at some point, hopefully. I mean, I have to, the video has to end somehow. I'm gonna be honest, not entirely sure what's going on in this area, or what's supposed to be going on in that area. I'm just kind of throwing paint down and hoping for the best, to be honest. But really, at the end of the day, aren't we all? I think I need to make one more shade to help me transition things along. Let me just smack my light while I'm at it. Let me just break it, because, I mean, I don't need it. My lighting setup is already mediocre at best. Why not just fucking ruin it? Make it ugly. I just realized I completely got rid of her pockets. But it's fine. Do you ever just make a single brush stroke in your art and you're like, wow, I wish I hadn't done that. But alas, there is no undo button in real life. Alright, I think I'm ready to move on to something. Not the jacket, I say as I continue to work on the jacket. Stop, Oliver. You need to stop. So, hair. Oh. Nice. Good job, me. Hair and shoulder. Shoulder? Shorts. I'm dumb. Those seem to be the next obvious things. Honestly, that's pretty much her hair. Here's what I'll do. And I'll mix in some of this. And then I'll use that pure white as highlights. And then blend it out on the actual painting. And then once I'm done with the hair, since her shorts are also blue, I could probably just mix a color based off of the hair. I mean, probably, right? Alright, there's some general highlights. For the more proper shading, I'll probably add in a lot of purples. Maybe some reds, depending on how crazy we're gonna get. I think that's about all I could do for the first layer. I'll add a bunch of white here, and I think some of the green. Okay, no, I think I need more white. So I guess real quick I should just slap some of this in the shading spot. Wonder if I should clean my palette, but also lazy. I think the time has come to squirt some of this. I'll do it over here, because I don't need a lot, but I definitely need to add this now to help separate these two. I was very scared for a second. So her shorts are kind of like baggy and poofy, and so this is like the inside. So how do I make it look like the inside? Guess I'll just add black then. I'm not going to be happy about it though. That did nothing. Awesome. I'll bounce back to her hair, and I'll deal with the shorts I'll deal with the shorts another day, or later today, depending on how the rest of this goes. Land these first. Now I think it would be purple time. I'll just add some here. Alright, if anything looks or sounds different, wait. If anything looks or sounds different, ignore it. It's totally the same day. I don't know what you're talking about. I believe where I left off earlier today, totally not yesterday. I was trying to... What was I doing? Was it the shorts? I don't know. Let's just do that. I think this was the jacket color, but I could do that. It's fine. I didn't actually have a... Oh, I just put my hand in the wet paint. Like a dumbass. I don't really have a plan for these shorts. I don't really know what to do about them. Speaking of having no idea what I'm doing, I haven't decided how I'm going to add line art to this. I mean, I guess it doesn't really need line art for the most part. I would really just need it in places that need to be defined a little bit more, like the face. I don't remember what my game... Oh god, I got red in the hair. I don't remember what my plan was for the hair. I mean, I totally remember, because it was earlier today. I don't know the last time I've actually drawn Rhea. Probably should have done some practice sketches of her before I filmed. But that's something that a smart person would do. And you know me. Okay, last time I added purple in the shading, but I'm not sure I super like that, so I think the next things I want to try is one of these. Too bright. Try adding some of this now. See if it darkens it up, and if not, then fuck. Definitely gotten darker, but now I think it's too warm. This palette is a mess, dear god. I think there's something so freaking beautiful about messy palettes, though. Look at it. It just says, wow, I'm an artist. Not the fact that, you know, I'm well into a video of me painting. I should have left some of the blue, so I'm not suffering to get some. But again, that's something that a smart person would do, and you know me. I think I'm just about done with the hair. I think I want to use some white and blend it out to really push the highlights. And then also for the fluffiness on the jacket, I think I'm going to paint it white and then shade with a mix of this and then maybe something else to make it less saturated, because it's more of just like a warm gray, so I think that would help me blend that. Steal this blue. An effort has been made. I think for the time being, this is about as good as it's gonna get. Not that it's bad, it's okay. Would it be time to finish up the jacket? I mean, it touches the hair ever so slightly, but it should be fine. There, she's gonna look a little demonic for the time being, but it'll be fine. I mean, again, there's an ugly stage to all paintings, so. Oh, hush. Oh, I know. You're terrifying, Zola. Everyone is so scared of you. Maybe I'll add some of the yellow orchid? Yellow oxide, I'm completely wrong, wow. Then in the time being, I will go back down to touch up some of the bodysuit areas. Some contrast between here and the inside of the shorts. I remember saying I didn't want the bodysuit to be pure black, and now it's practically pure black. I mean, it just needed the contrast. If I was smart, I would have worked on the part near her belly instead of her legs, because I'm just going to put my hand in this. But again, you know me! Or maybe you don't. Maybe this is just the first video, and you're like, wow, this guy's fucking stupid. I think the coat could use more contrast now that I'm looking at it. I think this is the final push it needed. Or maybe it'll dry and it'll be lighter and I need to do it again. Who knows? We will find out. The joy of painting. Tears and suffering. I need to figure out how to, like, properly make fluff and fur. We'll add that to the list of things I need to practice, but probably never will. Although I guess I could use you guys to make me be accountable. If you want sketch vlogs of me practicing the things I need to practice, let me know. I can't promise there'll be anything special or spectacular, but I could take you guys along with me as I try to figure out how to draw various things. Let me try adding this, just to lower the saturation, and then I'll add white to brighten it up. Let us see. I mean, it did something. I don't know if it's a good something or a bad something, but let's put a lot on the paper and pretend like it's a good something. Let me actually add her pupils while I'm at it. This yellow is basically her eye color, so once that dries, I'll add some shading, and then we'll add her eyelashes so she looks less scary. Since this is supposed to be fairly light in color, I'm not quite sure how dark to make the shading. The shading ended up a lot cooler than it was intended to be, but it looks fine, so I'm not going to change that because I'm scared to fuck it up. Add the tiniest bit of shading. I think I'm going to try and push the highlights in the skin. After that, I think it's just touches of line art and then the background element, right? I really like the way the leg turned out. I don't know what it is. I just really like it. Okay, mister. I mean, I guess the timing's okay because I gotta wait for this stuff to dry anyway. So I guess it's, oh my goodness, sir. I appreciate your hard work, but holy fuck. Alright, well, I'm going to go. Be back in a bit. Once this is dry, we'll finish this baby up. This is dry now, for the most part. Got this, so I could put it along here. And I had the genius idea for line art. I'm trying to use a liner. Okay, listen. Whenever I try and use line art on, like, perfect. Whenever I try and use line art on my regular gouache, it doesn't work out. It just does not. So I just assumed it wouldn't work, and it might not work, but we will try. It works! We'll use this for liner then, and then white gel pen. However, the one thing I didn't think about is what to do with the background. I kind of want to use this yellow and then something else. What about this color? I think it would look really cool if I used that as most of, like, the swooshy shape. But the problem with that is that I'm worried about it blending in with the coat. I mean, fuck it. We'll just do it. Gonna use this because my palette is this. Also, yeah, I put the rest of. We'll just ignore that. I put the rest of my paint on that paper, so that's why that looks like that. What if I, instead of making it like a solid shape, I added some depth? So like up here it'll be lighter, and then as it gets here it gets darker or something. I don't know. Need more of this and some white. Oh god. Get paint on the side, but it's okay because we're going to cover that up anyway. Now to darken it, purple? That made it kind of blue. And let's add red. That was a lot of red. Back to this. Good. Mess it up. Try to fix it. don't fix it, cry. And it's like none of it ever happened. Gotta wait for that to dry now before I add touch-ups to that. And then I'm definitely going to add a white outline around here. And then I'll just do the writing in white too, because why not? So when I was waiting for this to dry, so I could go over it again, I had the thought, hey dumbass, use a Posca pen. They dry much faster, and I think I'll have a little bit more control over it. So I'm gonna do that to go over the yellow bits. Right next to the yellow streak, I think I'm going to add some white highlight, because I think it'll help with the contrast on the actual thing. And then while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'll probably add the washi tape. I don't know if I've ever put washi tape on this kind of material before, but I mean, attempts are being made, so you gotta give me credit for that. It made a fart sound. I totally didn't smear it. What? What do you mean? Snip and snip. Oh yeah, this extra piece, what should I? I'll put it up here. It'll be fine, right? There we go. I hope that'll stay over time. The hand isn't really defined, so logically speaking, I should put line art there, but I'm scared. Because I didn't really know what I was doing with the hand in the first place. So, I mean, fuck it. We'll just try and define it, and then if it looks bad, we'll just cry and it'll be fine. I mean, if I keep the lines still kind of vague, you won't be able to tell, right? It generally, the general gesture of it looks like a hand, and that's what's important. Can't imagine there's any other place that really needs line art. I mean, I really like the painterly look of it, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at this, except maybe this. I'm gonna leave it at this now. Some finishing touches. I think I'm just gonna do it on one side. Then it looks like a fancy artistic decision. Got an idea. Probably should have made a tiny little thumbnail of this beforehand. We're living life on the edge today. On edge, on the edge. We're living life on edge. I'm terrified of everything. Okay, well that truly did not work. I really need to wait. I'm so impatient. And it kind of looks like shit, but it is there. So that's all that matters. Yeah, I think we're done. We're done. How many times on this channel have I been like, we're done, and then I do some shit, so then we're not done? Okay, but we'll just say that we're done now. Put these away from me. I still have our little thumbnail over here. And then here's the finished product. I'm starting to enjoy these paints more and more. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if you like it better than my last attempt with these paints, and also what you think of the cover aside from this. I know I messed it up because I was impatient, but let me know your actual thoughts on the actual thing, actually. Wait, hold on. I missed this spot. Okay, now we're actually for real, super for real this time done. That's about all I have for you for this video, so if you liked it, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know what you were drawing, because you were probably drawing along with me. You know all your secrets. And if you are new here, hello, my name is Oliver. I post a new video every single Wednesday, and then bonus videos whenever I can. But I share a lot of my art on this channel. I would really appreciate it if you could stick around and look at my art. It would mean a lot to me. And if you want to see more from me, you can follow me on social media, which will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. I post my art to Instagram, so if that's what you're looking for, go over there. But if not, don't worry about it. And there will also be some videos on screen now and linked in the iCard for you to check out if you want. Thank you. You can see the pen on my hand. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.